It's your boy, Sense of Self. Today, I want to discuss logic. Logic is deep. So if you're watching me right now and you see this thinking cap on, you know it's about to go crazy. It's all about the logical mind, dissecting logic. Anyway, let me start my video, right? What is logic? Now, a definition of logic wouldn't do that much justice, as in today's time, the books that we read is all from if you've been listening to my videos, you realize books are a diluted version of awareness, meaning wisdom. For you to get wisdom is within. Hence why today I thought it's important to dissect logic. So when you're dealing with logic, one must really be aware that logic is common sense. In today's time, there's no more common sense. I call it scarce sense because there is no common sense. There's no logic. We're so far removed from reality or from nature or from being human. And when I say that, it's deep. Anyone listening to me will resonate if you can deep what I mean by we're so far removed from being human. What I mean by that is humans are action creatures. We move to do things. We use our mind. We use that awareness, that sense, to calculate things. We don't just hear and do. We hear, analyze, and find our own way. But because of Babylon, and when I say Babylon, I mean the cities that we're all in, it's very difficult, for one to really use their mind. We all go by what we're told, based on fears, and it's deep. I don't want to deviate too much from the logical topic or the logical conversation that I'm trying to, lay down. But I think these things are very important, So logic is common sense. Logic is balance. Logic is fairness. There's never imbalance when you're logical. There's always, the win-win side of a thing, everyone fair, I'll give an example for one to grasp logic, because logic is awareness, and for you to be aware, like I always say on my channel, it's important one must understand you are not this vessel or this body that we're in. I had this deep questions popping through my mind the other day, and only a wise person has these kind of questions, like, why are we here? What is this vessel? How come I can only use my 5 senses? How come everything I eat, I don't know what happens, it just gives me an indication and I just go and do whatever. I have no idea what's going on in my inner world. How come when I sleep, I black out? I don't understand. I don't know where I am. How come when we're about to eat, we ask ourselves questions? Or when we're about to wear our clothes, you ask, what am I going to wear? Who are you talking to? All these questions is a level of understanding and awareness that will open your mind once you start asking yourself these questions. What is sleep? Why do we keep repeating doing these things over and over again? All these things are deep questions that I think not a lot of people ask themselves. And I guarantee you, once you ask yourself, or once you start asking these questions and you have a burning desire to know, the answers are all within, And I say that to say this, that logic is only something that you can experience within yourself. And the only way you can experience that is if you understand how life works, or creation, They say life starts, the creator of life is sound, And when I say sound, I mean airs, sound is airs, you know, so one must deep. So this is a quick Jew I'm just going to break down so you can understand. Again, this is all part of logic, so don't get lost, just stay with me. So think airs. Remember, air is the creator. Air is the cosmic space of mind, you know. So they say what's above is what's below, or what's above is what's within. Your within is the inner world. Because don't forget, if you do understand the world you live in is a body, or it's a world, it's a body like you and I, it's just the micro to the macro, you start to understand truly deeply where we are and what we are, you know. So just a quick Jew, air manifest. You know, air is the beginning of physical manifestation, you know, and it's deep. We don't see air, but it carries all the ingredients or the physical ingredients we need for it to become fleshy and physical. And it's deep. And I'm gonna give you a quick correlation to that before I end this video, because I think logic is something that one must truly be aware. So you have airs. Remember, air is the creator, manifest into substance and go into these different substances becoming physical as it goes along, you know. So example is you have air manifests into substance manifests into the physical. Yeah, these are the three states. But don't be fooled, you have different layers of airs, you have different layers of, you know, substance, and you have different layers of physical flesh. Same as if you come to the mind, you know. Remember, the air is the cosmic space of mind, and your mind is the inner space. So as above, so below. So the inner space of mind also is like airs, right? And it produces substance, you know. Now, the air which is outside, within air, don't forget air is the creator, yeah? Air is beginning of all physical manifestation. And this is not about he say, she say. This is truth. I didn't make this up. This is exactly how you create, how life comes forth from the unseen to the seen. So it's deep, you know. Anyway, airs, you have airs. Within airs, you have the smaller level of life within it, which are all physical things. You call them hydrogen atoms, carbon atoms, oxygen atoms. You know, all these things are happening within the air that you can't see, which is unseen, right? Then it goes into substance, right? Now let's bring it back to the mind. Remember, the mind is the inner airs within you, right? So you also produces substance, right? You also is air. Your smaller level of life is your thoughts. Thoughts and hydrogen atoms, molecules, they're all one and the same. You call them neurons, but these are thoughts, right? And these thoughts manifest into substance. And the substance could either be clean, or I call it health substance, which is the purest state of the water, clean water. Example will be your cerebrum spinal fluid, right? And then it goes into salty water. Example will be cry, you know, when your tears, or when you cry from a dark place, or from a place of emotional deep trauma, or whatever it is, or pain, you tend to feel your cry, it's a bit salty. And anyone watching me can test that out, and it's simple. And when you have tears of joy as well, you cry clean, tasteless water, and it's deep. All right, so to recap, right? Air manifests into substance, no different than your mind. You call it thoughts. Thoughts also manifest into substance within you, right? And if I'm to give an example of how you can know you're producing substance, is your feelings, your emotions, your spirit, you know. Don't let nobody fool you though. Spirit, emotion, water, it's all talking about the same thing, right? So anytime you feel sad, you feel low, you feel down, all this is thoughts that pushes out into become emotion. And this emotion flows into your physical. This is why you can see someone when they're angry in their face, but anger is not physical, right? Anyway, these are the different levels of states or liquid your mind goes through before it becomes physical, you know. So you have example of clay in your body will be you'll be this flesh, your organs, you know. Example of rock in your body is your bones, you know, and it's deep. And this is also applied outside of your vessel. So you have your clays, which you see, and you have your stones. You have all the different substances, you know, clean, thick, muddy. All these are all correlated. I don't want to go too deep into that. I just wanted to show you an example of how everything is connected, as what's above is what's below, you know, all coming back to logic, you know. And logic, like I said, is all about awareness of self, able to understand, able to see the two sides of a thing and rise above it. That's logic, you know. And it's deep. It's very, very deep. In today's time, not a lot of us are aware of these things, you know. So the little I can push out for it to be aware is what I do, you know. So I'm gonna end here, and he or she who this resonates with, I say peace, and balance.